Salut everyone! In this video, we're gonna talk about the latest hype operating system running on Linux dedicated to gaming. You heard it here, PlaytronOS, or Playtron, or Playtron, or Playtronis OS, or whatever you wanna, pronounce this one. I'm gonna say Playtron, okay? So PlaytronOS is here in alpha. And guess what? I can't review it. Let's get into it. As always, let's start with a little bit of context. PlaytronOS is an operating system based on Linux which differentiates itself by offering direct integration with platforms like Steam, GOG, or the Epic Store through some type of seamless and unified experience. At least this is what they are saying. We'll talk about it after. And what is really shocking now compared to the other project out there is that these projects start to get a lot of big investors. So this is an article from gamingonlinux.com, and the first thing you're gonna see here is Square Enix, which is a big publisher of video games there. They announced that, they're going to be part of the investor for this operating system. So we are not talking about, a nice gentleman in his basement creating the best distro ever created out there. And again, I have nothing against that. I'm actually pretty respectful and pretty fan of that. We are talking big company which are looking for big investors to create this apparently a new game operating system, which come again with a lot of promise. Well, you get it. They are announcing a lot of stuff. So now you understand, when you think about Square Enix, you think about publishing game, and you are thinking certainly those guys, they are maybe looking for different platforms to push their game, playing kind of the expanding horizon type of cards there. Why not? I don't know how much money they put there, but it's kind of pretty interesting there. But then when you read the article, you can tell that the first hardware that will be actually using the SUI-Play 0x1, a strange-looking and sounding Web3 blockchain handled. So there I'm what? Are Playtron a software company, or is it more a hardware company? And then you switch to the next article from gamingonlinux.com to notice the first handle to use PlaytronOS Web3 thing is gonna be the SUI-Play 0x1, which is this copy of, no, I won't say a copy of the Steam Deck, but, highly inspired handled, which look like the Steam Deck. So here at this point, you are okay, we went from a big company related to video game. Now we are switching to Web3. So when you say Web3, you are talking about blockchain, you are talking about NFTs, you are talking about crypto. This is the other world we are kind of digging in here, but and it's fine, but it's quite interesting there. But you can see that this company, which is actually creating the handheld, is another mother company from Mysten Labs, and Mysten Labs is also one of the other investors in PlaytronOS. So as I understand it, PlaytronOS won't be a hardware move. It's gonna be more like an operating system move backed up by company which are creating hardware, which are publishing game, and which are also dealing with cryptocurrency directly or indirectly. This is the space we are in for this operating system. And you're gonna see this is gonna be the red line we're gonna follow through this video, because at the end of the day, all of those are going to be directly linked, and I will show you how. And now when we continue again with another great article from gamingonlinux.com, I'm going to put all those links in the description below. You're going to notice that now a big name from the, I would say open source developer world just sign in for working with the team of PlaytronOS. So Mathieu Commandant, I'm guessing this gentleman is French. Salut Mathieu. I don't know him personally, but I really appreciate his work. I really like Lutris. I heard a lot of drama around him, and again, I don't want to get into this type of things. What I can say here, and which could be really interesting for him, but also for the whole, like Linux community in general, and everybody like enjoying the software he has been developing for the last years, is the fact that now he's going to be working with the team of Playtron. So I don't know, I'm going to say Playtron rather than PlaytronOS, just Playtron, okay? It looked like they hire him to work on the project. So I do believe this is a good news, because those developers, they are giving a lot to the community, a lot of time, a lot of effort. And finally, a big company decide to hire them to actually like remunerate the amount of time they're going to work on project is actually awesome. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. But Mathieu himself talk about the position related to Playtron there, and what come out from this long post. I'm going to put also the link in the description below if you want to read all of it. Is that his main move will help him to really like develop a console-like Linux gaming experience that will certainly benefit Lutris. So you can see where everything is gonna go, right? So obviously he's not like stopping Lutris. There's gonna be more another project that will certainly benefit from some type of synergy between the work he's gonna have related to Playtron and Lutris. So I think it could be really interesting. Again, we'll see how it goes, but I think it could be really nice to see some type of synergy between those two projects. Another important point from this little post there is also mentioning the fact that Playtron, even if it's backed by a lot of crypto and Web3 company, is kind of like pushing away the type of like we say like incertitude you could have related to this type of project. We're going to talk about it after, but you get the idea, right? When you think about NFT, cryptocurrency, you understand the nice concept on paper, but most of the headline related to this type of venture have been more like a scam. And yeah, I don't want to get too deep again into this type of thing, but you know what I meant when we think about cryptocurrency. So now you understand the situation, right? Like this operating system has been the center of attention for the last, I would say, like 2 weeks, because first they released their alpha, it kind of came out of nowhere. But then they announced first like big investor, and second, they announced that some of the devs which are working on one of the most like, I would say like prestigious project for gaming on Linux are actually working with them too. So it kind of gives them a lot of credibility. So let's go on their website and see what it's all about, okay? Because me personally, you know my approach. Normally, I like to test the distro and cut all, I would say, like the middleman here in the middle, because I don't really care about the website or whatever is going on behind the scene. I'm more thinking about the user experience. Like, does the distro actually benefit for the end user? Like, is there a value added using X or Y distro? And we'll get there, don't be worried. So let's go through the website to kind of like an understanding of how they present themselves. The rise of the super console. And legitimately, like what they really do here is present themselves like the savior of the gaming handheld industry. And if you look at the actual like project they were able to bring within their team, it's actually impressive. So they have WinZap OS, Chimera OS, Open Gamepad UI, so Lutris, obviously we just talked about it, but also Heroic Game Launcher and Box64. So you can see like it's actually awesome. Like a lot of actual developer might be benefiting financially of the, I would say, like move from Playtron. And this, I have to say, it is pretty good because those guys, they work a lot. And again, working for free is not really great. If you actually find someone who works for free, you are certainly living in another dimension. But anyways, Playtron will be making community tools available for contribution and is hiring actively from the Linux gaming community. So I think this is great. They also like show off their investor page. So you have Samsung next. I think those ones are also linked to cryptocurrency, Polychain Capital, Alumni Venture, Circles, CMD Digital, Misten Labs, Factor Capital. Like those look like big venture related to cryptocurrency again, you know, like found investment, like this type of like big company. Why not? And here we have Square Enix, the only publisher. I'm wondering, and again, I don't know, but I'm wondering if Square Enix and Samsung Next somehow could also be linked to, you know, Web3 cryptocurrency stuff. Again, this is not my world. I really try to avoid this type of space because I don't know a lot about it. And from my generation, we more believe like in cash rather than digital asset, but why not? So now let's look at the founder. So we have Kurt McMaster, John Lagerling, and Frank Di Girolamo. And they look like they have kind of like a big pedigree, all of them. I made my research, and the one who kind of like pop out was Kurt McMaster. And I won't mention in this video the type of information I found, but it's kind of like interesting to see how, I would say, divided or aggressive the Linux community will be towards this gentleman. I'll let you do the research, but from what I found, I was kind of like, okay, you know? Yeah. So the team experience, big company, okay, why not? So the website itself seems pretty well designed, and it's more like, you know, like one of those big company type of approach, like linear, clean, okay. And then there is this button at the top, Get PlaytronOS. If you click on the button, you arrive on this web page. And here, another presentation really quick, and then this page. So this page is kind of like the marketing differentiator between their operating system and the rest of the world. And it's actually funny, they compare themselves versus SteamOS, Windows, and PlaytronOS. And here, listen, I kind of like jump on my chair because my background is marketing, okay? I have an MBA in marketing. I own my own marketing agency before switching to content creation and other things before, like in my previous life. And the thing you want to do as a marketer is obviously make sure your claims are truthful, right? And they are not really like going in a gray zone. So I was kind of upset, for example, with the website of Zorin because their claim were kind of like in this gray zone where it's, you know, it's not really true, it's not really false. It's kind of like misleading without being misleading. It's kind of like meh. I think claims are really important, right? Because claim at the end of the day is going to define the branding of your company and your product. So let's look at it together. So here you have SteamOS, only Steam supported out of the box. Okay, out of the box. Okay, true. Only supports Steam Deck. So, okay, this is not true. Okay, this is not true since, are we like 1 month and a half? Valve announced they're going to support the Rogue Ally and the Lenovo Legion. So this claim is just false. So this is wrong. Only Steam Deck supported out of the box. So when they say Steam, they're thinking about the Steam store, right? Steam platform. Yes and no, because you have a way to also use KDE on it out of the box. But it's true on the other side because it doesn't support out of the box the other gaming platform like Epic Store or GOG, for example. But you see, like we are in a gray area here. It's already like worded in a way which is kind of confusing for the non, I would say, like nowhere. Now we have the Windows. So Windows, monolithic OS built for productivity, software, and not games. So here it's like, yes, maybe. But when you say not games, the latest Windows has, you know, Xbox, Game Bar, blah, blah, blah. Like it's definitively built for games too. So this one is meh. And not optimized for mass market consumer gaming. So which actual operating system right now is actually optimized for gaming if Windows is not? Okay, I'm asking the question. That's a legit question, guys. Is it actually legit? My opinion, it's tough. Okay, like this one is a rough one. And now PlaytronOS. What did make it like better? And you have the little like, you know, green stuff there. So natively support many different game store out of the box. Okay. Support many different handheld device on PC. So just to be clear, this could be just a counter argument for SteamOS, not for Windows, right? Because it's not out of the box, but it supports it. It does it natively, but okay, let's say it's pre-installed, so they can word it. But natively, is it native? Are you running Epic Game Store natively? Like what is this word meaning? It's confusing, in my opinion. And then support many different handheld device and PC. Well, SteamOS does and Windows does. And here you will see PC, it's not that great, okay? It's not that great. And designed for an optimal gaming experience. I just proved that Windows is literally designed for that, and SteamOS is. So to me, their differentiation point here, they didn't nail it, right? Like they need to work on their marketing. Guys, if you want to hire me, I'm here. It looks like you have a lot of capitals. I would say there is better way to prove that your operating system could be a better play. And I think I could work on that already, but like there it's difficult. Okay, let's be honest. I said that one of their claims related to the fact that you can install it on almost all the PC is kind of like super reducing. And I'm going to explain you why. Right now, if you want to test the alpha, you have to run an AMD card only. Nothing else. Not an Intel, not an NVIDIA. It has to be an AMD card. So when you think about the gamers and people who are actually gaming in this planet, most of them, they are using NVIDIA. Okay, like if I look at the Steam hardware and software survey from August 2024, so guess what type of hardware most of the gamers are using? Well, it's NVIDIA with 76.57% of the market share. So I don't want to get too far there, but the idea is that those gentlemen, by not supporting NVIDIA, they are literally cutting 75% of the market share. Like straight. Like this is just crazy. So, you know, their claim is not even like, I don't know. Anyways, you got my point. So now let's go through their FAQ because I found their really good like type of like answer you could ask yourself. And one which was really basic was just like, what is the operating system that PlaytronOS is based on? And you can see here it's based on Fedora Blue. So it's going to be an atomic distribution based on Fedora Silverblue. So the fact that it's Silverblue, it's also, you know, interesting. So I have nothing against Fedora Silverblue to say the least. Like I'm a big fan of what they are doing, but there is this other branch called Universal Blue, which I believe could be a better base. I think Buzzite is using it. So I'm like, okay, this is a legit question. I'm like, why are you basing on one which you're gonna have like more work to produce? I don't know, but maybe it's a license play here. I don't know. Now the other point, just to confirm, is gonna be the fact that it's gonna be related only to AMD GPU. It's just a confirmation here that it's gonna be only for AMD GPU even in the future, which is kind of like scary because you remember earlier in the video I was thinking maybe they're gonna go toward NVIDIA, but apparently not. So you know, it's kind of like meh in my opinion. The other point is related to the Linux game. So currently PlaytronOS only run Windows game using Wine. Fine. Native Linux game will be supported in the future. What? This is really, I would say like curious from my standpoint to not support native Linux game. Like you are literally cutting some performance out of the box for games which are actually running natively. So I know some of the native games, they don't run that much. They are not super supported anymore. And sometimes it's better to run them through Wine. I get it, but still, there is still game over there which are like actively supported to run on Linux. So why would you not support them? Now, this one is really interesting. What are the advantages of PlaytronOS over the other operating system? Unified out-of-the-box experience for installing and playing games on the Epic Games Store and Steam. More features to be announced. This is the part that scares me, chat. Okay? This is the part which I'm like, okay, what does it mean unified? Out-of-the-box experience. When I read unified, to me, what I can see, and again, it's just speculation. I didn't try the distro. I can't try it with my hardware, which is a shame. When I see unified, you see, I'm seeing a third-party account on one of those platforms, which is web-free, cryptocurrency, backed up, whatever. This type of account, which will then connect to all the different stores. Because when you use the word unified, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but that's what I'm thinking. You will have, for example, your Playtron account, but this Playtron account is going to go through a crypto system where if you want to buy stuff, you're going to have to go through their system. Like, that's the only way, because when I think at this product, I'm like thinking, like, why crypto would be interesting in that? And that's the only way I believe they could monetize and find a way to, benefit from it. Because I do understand the play maybe from the publisher, if they want another like platform and more visibility, but the other guys, I have a hard time understanding where they're gonna cash in. What does Playtron have to do with crypto? Playtron is backed by a handful of crypto companies. If game developers believe blockchain feature can improve their game, we are all for it. We are all for it. The use of this technology will be optional. Okay, so we will see. I don't want to put shade towards the product. I'm just trying to give you my perspective. Again, I can't try it. And, it will be unfair from my standpoint to give you a bad review of this non-review, actually, of the distro itself. But, the Sue wallet will be available to make purchase with. Web 2, Web 3 game will be available to download. More features to be announced. This one was interesting too. How will Playtron deal with anti-cheat on Linux? Playtron is working with interested partners to enable anti-cheat service. Listen, guys, if you can enable Fortnite anti-cheat, I'm all for it. Like, let's do it. But if you write that on your website and you're not delivering, boo. Okay, and last but not least, this one. Is Playtron open source? So I repeat, is PlaytronOS open source? At first, only the operating system code will be open source. We have planned to open source more and release API documentation to allow developers in the community to contribute and build their solution using Playtron. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, so let me explain this one. Is it going to be open source? So you remember at the beginning of the video when I was telling you, hey, this is great. Those guys are going to get the bag to actually work on a project that will create synergy with the open source projects themselves, which could be awesome, right? But then this little last question in the FAQ, again, not sure, maybe I'm thinking bad, maybe I'm in the right, maybe I'm in the wrong. What if the company hires those gentlemen to create more closed source program? What if the actual side projects, now we call them side projects, from those big developers in the community are not benefiting from this? That's a legit question I ask yourself, right? And it's also a legit question I'm asking myself. Obviously, I don't have the answer. Nobody has it right now. And only time will tell, right? So my plan with this operating system is going to be to follow it. If they finally provide an NVIDIA ISO, I could try, because just in case you don't know, if you have an NVIDIA card and you want to play with Atomic distro, it's really hard, almost impossible to install the NVIDIA driver. Like, there is a way to do it, but it's way too much work. And I'm not willing to spend this type of energy for testing this distro. But you have my point there. I'm pretty sure a lot of other content creators are gonna test this distro, are gonna give their feedback. I really advise you to follow what they are doing. Also, if you want to try it, you have AMD GPU, just try it. Give me your feedback in the comment below, because I'm really curious to see the directions they're gonna take. If one of my prediction was right or I was totally in the wrong, because I can be wrong, obviously. So yeah, we will see what PlaytronOS will do in the future. I will make sure I stay connected with the project itself and see what it does. Guys, thank you very much for watching. It was the first review without reviewing the operating system. I hope you enjoyed it. But yeah, that's it. That's all for me. Guys, again, thanks for all the members from the Patreon, the YouTube member. You guys are the best for supporting financially the channel. Thanks a lot. See you in the next one. And until then, have a great rest of your day and bisous bisous.